जयपुर वाया कोटा।
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत.
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೈ
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दियो.
Looks like we're in for a very exciting second half of this game between KKR and SRH. It was one of those up and down innings where KKR lost their way at the start and then R&R stitched together a partnership that gave them a semblance of hope. At the 10-over mark, they were 90 and they finished their 20 at 171 for 9. A couple of 40s from R&R, Rinku Singh 46. Rana looked pretty good before he got out, 42 of 31. Andre Russell came into bat much earlier today, threatened to do the unthinkable, or threatened to do what was expected of him rather, but got out to a terrible shot of the bowling of Mike Markande. Overall, Hyderabad should look pretty pleased, or should they? We'll find out from our experts on Cricbuzz Live. Rohan Gavaskar and Shaun Pollock join me on the show. Rohan Gavaskar on debut has done something that earns him the sobriquet Gavstradamus. Tell me why.
I'll tell you why. The Force was with me today. Today's Star Wars Day, May the 4th, and the Force was with me today. That's the only reason. That's the only reason I came close to that prediction.
Rohan Gavaskar has proved to be the Jedi on this show. But what about Shaun Pollock? Polly, did you expect KKR to recover the way they did after losing those 3 quick wickets very early? 35 for 3, I think they were at one stage.
Yeah, I think they did really well. The two left-handers been in decent touch, so they got together and put that partnership together. Cricbuzz, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Cricbuzz, what are you doing? First delivery. I mean, come on. The big strength of Marco Jansen is he's about 8'8". He gets lots of bounce. Give yourself an opportunity to have a look. I mean, we discussed at the start of the show. I mean, the openers, how they've tried the different combinations, and this could be the dream team at the top of the order. He didn't even give himself a chance, did he? And that's what the frustration is. I mean, it's his first delivery. To run down, it's probably going to bounce more than you expect because you haven't faced him. And he's on his way and they're under immense pressure already. And then he picks up another wicket, Marco Jansen, in the over. And they're 2 down. And, nice recovery. I mean, Rana, Rinku Singh there, Russell and Roy playing little cameos. I still think 171 is not too bad. It does look like the surface is holding just a touch. Not the ideals total. I think they would have wanted more, but still pretty competitive.
Rohan, for you, 171, not enough?
No, I think I agree with Polly. I think it would be competitive, pick up a few early wickets. Look, both these teams have been a little dodgy in terms of form. Confidence will be low. So you pick up a couple of wickets, put Sunrisers on the back foot and be thinking, do we have it in us to chase this down? But listen, I'm going to go back to something Polly said. Give yourself a chance, Cricbuzz. And a great example of this is Ayush Badoni yesterday.
Yep.
On that surface, he was 9 of 14 deliveries to start with. It was a tricky surface to bat on, but once he got himself set, once he sort of gauged the sort of bounce and turn on that pitch, he batted beautifully. So while we say this is a T20 game and you've got to go hard from ball 1, you've still got to give yourself that little bit of chance to get your iron, get set and play shots. And I think Cricbuzz missed a trick there.
Slight psychological edge for Hyderabad, given how Natarajan bowled that last over. Polly, just 3 runs and a couple of wickets. Somehow the momentum seems to shift just a little bit. Hyderabad will be feeling a little bit more relaxed going into the dressing room.
Yeah, really impressed with that last over. Natarajan, for me, this season, he's kind of just been missing his mojo.
Yep.
We've come to know him as such a fantastic death bowler. And when I was watching there in the first overs that he came on to bowl in the middle, that's not really his strength. He tries to hit a good air. He tries to kind of mix it up. But we've always felt like his strength was at the back end, and he hasn't been able to really deliver too much of that this season. So to have bowled that over that he just did was absolutely fantastic. He's starting to really believe in that Yorker. I mean, he's obviously been a little bit underdone coming into the tournament after that injury. But that's what I've come to know him for. That's what maybe got him that Indian call-up all those years back. And it was really good to see him at the top of his skills again.
This total would have been much lesser if it wasn't for that 61-run partnership between Rinku Singh and the captain Nitish Rana. They look to be in the zone. Sometimes when you're in that nothing-to-lose zone, you're able to unlock another gear.
Yeah, look, and you're right. That's the key phrase, nothing to lose, because they know that if they lose this game, well, it's completely done and dusted. And that's why this was a case of, listen, doesn't matter what happens, even if we get beat by a big margin, so be it. But we've got to try and give ourselves a chance. Hope that Nitish Rana and Rinku Singh, Andrew Russell, whoever was coming, like go hard at the bowling and get to a slightly competitive score. I think 170, there may be 10 short, but it's still competitive. You pick up a few early wickets and you're in the game. You'll be competing.
It's a 2-month-long league, Polly, and we often, as cricket fans, we try to ask ourselves who the big stories of this season have been. Where does Rinku Singh feature on that list for you? Because he's certainly made heads turn.
Yeah, he has. I mean, his performance, to be able to strike it the way he did in that one over in particular, what was it, 30, to take his team to victory. And then he's backed it up with other performances. You know, sometimes you can have a fly-by-night performance. You get it right on the night. But he keeps coming with consistency. And that's my big catchphrase in this T20 format going forward is, I love guys. Yes, you've got to take a little bit of risk. Yes, you've got to maybe play a little bit out of the box at times. But the consistency is what wins tournaments and really helps captains, helps management. And he's starting to show that. And we've heard about his efforts that he's done at such a young age off the field, and that's fantastic. But that's another part of it. It's just down to IPL performance, and he keeps ticking those boxes. A little bit concerned about what he did in the last over. I mean, you just got to take that first single and give the other guy the opportunity. He had 12 or 5. But you can understand, you probably wanted to try and repeat the dose of what we've seen earlier in the tournament and whack a couple of sixes. But you can't fault his effort. Yeah, it was really good when the team required it under pressure to come in and play the way we did.
Sure.
Is fantastic. Ravi was writing him up saying, there's going to be something going forward for him. And you've got to think that if he keeps performing that consistency, there will be.
I was just saying, Manish, that this is why the IPL is such a big tournament and such an important tournament for domestic players. He's had some excellent performances in the IPL this year, and as you said, he's making heads turn. Do you know what his first class average is? Close to 60.
Wow.
Close to 60 over a period of time. And that tells you that he's been batting really well for a period of time. But it's this season when the IPL, because you've got eyeballs, you've got people watching, and when you do well in the IPL, suddenly everyone's talking about you because the whole world's watching. And that brings along its own share of pressure. But if you flourish, you're just sort of catapulted into that next level of cricket that you want to play.
Yes, he's been one of the more endearing stories of this IPL so far. He's the kind of player that everybody wants to see doing well. And dare I say, including those who are supporters of Hyderabad, Rinku Singh has been a story that will be talked about for a long time. Hopefully, he can continue to do a good job with his team and possibly for the Indian team at one stage. Now, he's insured. He's contributed enough to make sure that Hyderabad have to chase 172. Now, this team, Rohan, does not like to chase. They've lost 3 games chasing.
It's a fragile team. It is a fragile team. We've seen that. We've seen in the points table. We've seen in previous games. You spoke about their home results. They won against Punjab by 8 wickets. Lost to Rajasthan by 72 runs. Big margin of loss. Mumbai 14. Delhi close one, 7 runs. But it's not been a happy hunting ground for them. So 170, there will be a few jitters. And like I said, pick up a few early wickets. And KKR will be thinking, yeah, we can get stuck into these guys.
Polly, it's not 140, it's not 220. These in between 170 kind of totals. Isn't it a dilemma for batting teams? How should they be chasing this one? Not worry about 170 at all?
No, I mean, they obviously have to be aware of what the total is. I think the key is those first 6 overs.
Yep.
Just go and play it as though you're posting a score. Just go back yourself. If there's certain strength areas that you can hit the ball into, just think of those 6. After the 6, maybe from a strategic perspective, you take that strategic break earlier rather than later, and you have a chat and say, okay, where we set ourselves in. But I think the key for them has been if they get a good start. At the top of the order, there's kind of shuffling for places, guys not quite knowing how they should or shouldn't play. So Abhishek, if he continues to play the way he is, Harry Brook, if he comes out there, Tripathi, I'm sure, will be in as the strategic player. I think that's the key. Just look at the first 6. And once we've dealt with that power play, we'll take it from there. But a good start, a solid start, not too many wickets lost. They've got natural ball strikers. They'll be up there with the rate if they do.
You've got to tell us about what Klaasen's done in his career. I know that you watch him very closely, and I know you looked at his bat swing, etc. as well. Klaasen's been one of the more enterprising stories of this season for Hyderabad.
Yeah, Yeah, it's been fantastic for South Africa in the shorter format. He didn't really manage to get it going in the test format. But you know what actually has happened with him is he sat on the side for a long period of time, and it's created a hunger in him to get out there and perform. And also when you sit on the side, you sit chatting with the coaches, you watch the team, watch how they go about their business. His strike rate against spin in particular in South Africa has been fantastic, and he's done well there in the IPL as well. But you do get to that state where you start to work things out. He's senior enough. He's starting to understand what's required at what time, how my game plan needs to adjust, how I can be positive. And I think the net sessions that he's had in where he's worked out his game plan against spin in particular, I mean, he is South Africa's best player of spin. I mean, that might not say much with regards to conditions, but even in India, he's shown that he's got that ability to put spinners under pressure. And that's the key. And I think he is the informed guy. So if they get a good start, get him in after 8 overs and say, listen, okay, you're in touch. You go and play a knock for us.
And guess who he will not be facing in this innings? No Suyash Sharma. They brought in Anukul Roy. I thought Suyash Sharma would have been the obvious choice. We spoke about him in the pre-show as well. What was that impact substitution?
Well, I think they were trying to get a few more runs towards the end. He's pretty handy with the bat, Anukul. So it's one of those where you feel, okay, you've got enough in terms of enough options in terms of bowling in the bowling department. Let's chance if you're another 10-15, which might make it a winning score.
Paulie Narain isn't taking wickets. He doesn't have the kind of edge that he's known for. Suyash Sharma has been one of their bright stars. To not have him come into bowl in the second innings, how surprised are you?
Yeah, you sometimes wonder, we're not privy to what goes on in the discussions for these strategic substitutions and what they can or won't do. But it does seem at that stage, it's a little bit of a defensive kind of strategy because like what contribution can they make at the back end compared to the impact they can have with the ball a little bit later. But, they've got options. They've got guys who do bowl a lot of overs. We saw that. Which game was it in particular against Delhi? Where everyone kind of played a part with a little bit of spin here, a little bit of spin there. So they have got guys to cover. And they will need Nareen to stand up tonight. I think there's a short boundary there as well. So it'll be interesting to see if the Sunrisers are trying to mix it up and try and get the odd little left-hander in.
Let's pull up the Kolkata 11 and get Rohan Gavaskar to tell us what KKR's bowling plan should be. Who should be bowling? How many in the power play? How would you go about using Sunil Narain's 4? Varun Chakravarti is the other spin option. Nitish Rana can bowl a bit as well. Andre Russell, expect him to bowl 4. How would you go about defending 171?
Well, the thing is they haven't really used Shardul Thakur.
Yeah,
They've used him more as a batter than a bowler in this year's IPL. But I expect, Varun and Sunil Narain to really be the aggressive bowlers, try and take a few wickets. Harshad Rana, Vaibhav Arora, again, someone if they can pick up a few early on, put pressure on the SRH batsmen. But it's going to boil down to Varun and Sunil. I know we've spoken about the fact that Sunil hasn't been in form, but he's got the experience. He's obviously got the skill set. You're not at that level, at the top level in the IPL for so long if you're not quality and if you don't have that skill set. So it's just a matter of him getting his confidence back. But they'll be looking at these two, the spinners, to be the main strike bowlers, wicket-taking bowlers.
These are the kind of totals where, Paulie, you want your big man, your most experienced player to put their hand up and say, listen, I'm here, don't you worry. Sunil Narain's got to have a good game now.
Yeah, he does. And maybe they start him early. With Abhishek coming to the top of the order, the left-hander there, try and get some confidence under the belt in that first over, try and get him to get into the game. That might be an option of them. But I think from a Sunrisers perspective, it also gets to a stage where you would like to say this. You can't really say this as a coach these days, but come on, guys. 171. We've got a good batting lineup. Apply yourselves. Get stuck in here. Someone take on responsibility and let's get us over the line. If they get over the line, they take the points in the bag. They're not quite out of it as yet. It'll be a big leap forward for them if they can get on a bit of a roll. But I think the way they played, there wasn't that many gremlins. And the way that we've seen the spinners operate for Kolkata so far, I'm not 100% sure if they can tie them down enough. So I would expect the Sunrisers to get over the line.
Well, look, it was Brian's birthday, I think, yesterday. So as coach, he'd be saying, if you want to give me a present, just give me the victory. That's all I want as coach.
Now is the
Just
time.
give me 172 runs.
Yeah,
That's all
honestly.
he needs. That's all he needs for King Brian Charles Lara to smile. May they have a good game at home. We'll find out if KKR can defend this one. It's one of those tricky ones, but I'm sure you'll want to come back and join us on Cricbuzz Combox at the 10 over mark. Before we say bye, we've got to get a quick power play prediction from Gavstradamus and Polly Kaka.
44.
44 for you, Polly?
49.
49. All right. I spoke in favor of KKR in the first innings. I got it completely wrong. May this phase of 6 overs go Hyderabad. So I'm going to say 50 for Abhishek Sharma and Mankar Bal, who have come out to bat. That's it for now on Cricbuzz Live. Do join us on Cricbuzz Combox at the 10 over mark. Bye for now.
Jaipur via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೇ
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন